जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन
यशोदानंदन व्रजनरञ्जन
पावन हारी। यमुना तीरा पावन चारी। जय
जय
राधा
राधा माधव
कुंज
कुञ्ज
बिहारी।
विहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज
कुञ्ज विहारी।
बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम
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 राम हरे
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 हरे।
हरे
जय प्रभुपादा
प्रभुपद
प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपद
जय
जय
प्रभुपादा।
प्रभुपद
जय गुरुदेवा
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 जय
जय
गुरुदेवा। निताय गौर हरि
हरि
बोल हरि बोल
बोल
हरि बोल।
हरि
निताय गौर
बोल
हरि बोल। जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरुदेव
जय
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 कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
वृंद की जय।
जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम पदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौर तुषे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्री गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्ति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। Hare Krishna. Okay, so today we are going to cover the topic that we tried to cover last time, but last time we couldn't cover completely. To share my screen. So we were talking about this topic about Gopi Bhav. I'm calling it to as the method to madness of the Gopis. Gopis are mad about the Supreme Lord, but what is their method to madness? That is what is referred to as Gopi Bhav. What is their bhav? What is their means by which, how do they become the topmost devotees that they do? That's what is the topic. Because we want to become the topmost. What is the right way to do that? Because actually, we will see that Mahaprabhu defined his identity as Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Dasanudas. So, right in the identity, while identifying himself as a devotee, Mahaprabhu mentioned that, who am I? I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of who? Of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of who? Lotus feet of the one who is the master of the gopis. That's how he identifies Krishna. So that means he is identifying that we are essentially the servant of the gopis. And that's what you're talking about, that in the Tulsi Arti also it says, Sakhir Anugata Karo. To follow the footsteps of the gopis. What is the right way to understand that is the question. Even in this particular verse, Aradhya Bhagavan Vajesha Tanayastad Dhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kaschid Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. In this particular verse by Srila Srinivas Chakravarti, it is clearly mentioned that in this verse is said to be the comprehensive summary of what is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And it said that who is the Lord we worship? Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas. He is the Lord of Vrindavan. And we also worship his Dham, which is Vrindavan. And Ramya Kaschid Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. The method of worship, the method of Upasana, which is the highest and most pleasing worship to Krishna, type of worship to Krishna, is the method of the Vraj Gopis. Yeah. And the text is Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And the goal is the Lord, but the love of Godhead. Prema Pumartho Mahan. This is the method prescribed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which we follow, which we respect the most. We respect others too, but this is the one we follow. Yeah. So it's very clear that we can't deny that we are following the gopis. In fact, we know that our previous acharyas are the ones who descended from the spiritual world. But who are they in the spiritual world? They are the gopis or the manjaris, right? So Rupa Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, and all we know. So it's very clear that we are following the gopis. But in ISKCON, typically, we find, and I want to offer my obeisances, heartfelt obeisances to His Grace Keshavananda Prabhu, whose lecture Gopi Bhav is what I'm essentially repeating here, primarily deriving from there. So here he is clearly calling out this thing that there are two different ends actually. One is where we may say that yes, here, this is the method of the gopis, and so we must try to follow the gopis. And so then we may jump to following the gopis in a way which would actually may not be pleasing to Krishna, can go beyond the boundaries, what would be, I will use the word maryada here. What would be the maryada? What will be our adhikar? Yeah. So we may end up, and that's what is called as a sahajiya. A sahajiya can artificially imitate the gopis, either in their dress, also actually, in their language, or in their bhav, in their actions. They may artificially, and that's what happens in Vrindavan, unfortunately, very often, which Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur especially was so much against. He says in the lecture, Keshavananda Prabhu, that Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's whole life was to defeat this, this imitation of the method of the gopis and to belittle it. That's not we worship the method of the gopis, and there is a way to follow their method in the right way. So the other end of that is that in ISKCON, typically, as soon as you talk about Gopi Bhav, then we say, oh, that's a very high topic, let's not even mention it. So, because if we mention it, we may become like Sahajiya, we may take it cheaply, whatever, and all that. So nobody even mentions that. But then that is not, but Mahaprabhu is clearly calling out, you have to follow the method of the gopis. You have to follow the gopis. They are the highest ever devotees. So if we are singing it every day in the Tulasi Aarti, in the Shikshashtakam also, we are singing the prayers of Radharani, who is the topmost gopi. The topmost gopi, Radharani, the gopis are on the altar. How can we completely forget them, let's say, right? How can we completely neglect them? So that's not possible also. But that is very typical in ISKCON. We will just completely forget. But that way we are missing the goal. We may just end up doing things mechanically. We are missing that goal. That's the very key point. In all our worship, if we are not understanding what is the method of the gopis, we may be missing the goal of it. We may be missing that, hey, this is the highest charam sima, as it said, which is, the epitome of worship that I do need to reach, like that. So this is what this lecture, that's why it's so important, because it's bridging the gap. It's bridging it is clearly calling out that we have to understand the gopis, we have to follow the worship, we have to worship the method of the gopis, we have to worship the gopis, but we can do it in the right way. We need not forget, we need not imitate the sahajiyas. That's the key, message of this particular session, in that what is the right way to do it. So that's the method of worship, the gopis, Gopi Bhav. And here is one of the verses he quotes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where if you see, Lord Ram actually came to teach Maryada. We know this, Maryada Purushottam. What is the right, appropriate etiquette, it is said, right? Of being in this world, of living in this world, and also the right etiquette of worship, we can say. And Lord Krishna came, is called as Prema Purushottam or Leela Purushottam. He taught love. And then, but he essentially, he tasted love. And obviously the gopis are also tasting the love of Godhead, and Lord also tasted the love of his unalloyed devotees. What did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came not just to taste the love, but he actually even came to distribute the love, right? He tasted the love, it's said, and he distributed the love. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he distributed the love, he obviously distributed to one and all, we know. But he, at the same time, he gave us the method by which, a proper method by which we can attain that love. So that we are not whimsical about it. We are not sahajiya. We don't take it cheaply. And that method is called, to love, is essentially this word which is used in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antalila, 15.1. It's called Prem Maryada. So, Durgame Krishna Bhavadho Nimagnogna Chetasa Gaurena Harina Prema Maryada Bhuri Darshita. So, what did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teach us? He taught us, didn't just teach us prem, but he actually taught us prem maryada. This is a very interesting thing. There is a way in which you can reach to love of Godhead, but by following a maryada, by following an etiquette, the right understanding of how we exhibit love of Godhead, how we get to love of Godhead. And that's essentially what this session is about. That we got to reach the ultimate goal of Prema Pumurtho Mahan, but follow the right etiquette to it, Prema Maryada. So that's what we are going to talk about here. And how do we understand that? When we talk about Maryada, we have to understand what is our adhikar, and we also have to understand what is the place we are in. These are the two places. What is our adhikar, what capability, that we have, and what is our and what place we are in. And the example he gives is a nice one, is that, say, that's of a lady. So a lady, if we can see that, actually we can see that in case of, when in terms of adhikar, we can also, in terms of the place, we can see that a lady who is there in a particular, if she is in her maika, or the place of her mother, or if she is with her, if she is with her mother, let's say, as compared to if she is with her mother-in-law, right? She behaves differently, because or if she is with her husband, or if she is with her child, she behaves differently. It's love, but it is of different types, right? So if she starts behaving with her child like a wife, that will be a disaster. Or if she even starts treating dealing with her mother-in-law as if she's dealing with her direct mother, that would also be a disaster, because there is some formality in that relationship, right? With the mother-in-law and mother, it is not so intimate, at least yet, initially, right? So that's why there's a formality there, and that is maryada. So she has to deal with that, she has to interact with her mother-in-law in a more formal way, as compared to what she would deal with her mother, where the love has been very, very intimate for years, and that's why she can deal differently. And the other thing is also the place. One is the place, depending on where she is. If she is in her mother's place, she behaves differently. If she is outside in the world, she ends up behaving differently. And whereas if she is in her mother-in-law's place, then she ends up behaving differently. The kind of intimacy, the kind of words she uses, how she behaves, is all going to be different. So they are based on the people and based on the places, things are different. So similarly, in the case of a devotee, also there are two different places, there are two different kinds of people. One is there are siddhas and there are sadhakas. And second is there is the spiritual world and there is the material world, right? So we will see here that in the spiritual world, obviously there are just the siddhas, there are not sadhakas. But in the material world, there are siddhas, people who are already perfected, and people who are sadhakas, who are trying to practice, reach towards following the path of perfection, but they are not there yet. So there are these three types, you can say: the siddhas in the spiritual world, the siddhas in the material world, and then the sadhakas in the material world. So how does the method to madness of the gopis act with regards to all of these three is the real question. Okay, So here is the 5 aspects of the method to madness of the Gopis. I've created this acronym out of this, and that is, what is their goal? That's G. What are the obstacles that they face in their path? That is O. What is the process that they follow? What are the indicators of what are the symptoms that they experience, essentially? And finally, there is one particular secret which is there in the Gopis. Okay, so that's what we will talk about. Their goal, the goal that they always have in their mind, the obstacles that they face, the process that they follow, the symptoms or the indicators that they experience, and finally one secret. And if that secret we follow, then we can actually move forward like anything. So at the end of it, we will learn about the Gopis, we'll learn about the Siddhas, but then we will also learn what can we apply from all of this in our lives. That's the thing. We will also learn what can we apply from this in our lives so that we can actually also reach that goal of Prema Pamortho Mahan. Okay. So here we are. So I'll jump to this particular, these 5 aspects. First, what is their goal? Their goal is Krishna Sukh Tatparya. Their goal is to give happiness to the Gopis. Tatparya means finally, what is the goal? What is the final definition of it? Or the conclusion? Their goal is Krishna Sukh Tatparya. And that Krishna Sukh Tatparya is the eventual goal which should be there for everybody. But what is that? How that is specifically experienced in Goloka Dham? It is experienced in the form of Manjari Bhav, he says, Manjari Bhav. So, because the highest sukh that is experienced in Goloka Vrindavan is by the Manjaris. The Manjaris are the ones who are assisting the Gopis, and their entire purpose, in fact, they are not directly actually, it's the Gopis who are directly serving Krishna and the Manjaris are serving the Gopis. But by the happiness which is experienced by them is actually even higher, it is said. And so their goal is essentially, is they do whatever they do, 100% is only for the happiness of Krishna. They have no other purpose in their mind. Whether they are decorating the kunjas, whether they are boiling the milk, whether they are assisting in so many different ways in increasing the ecstasies of Sri Radha and Krishna in their pastimes. Their whole purpose is not even a tinge, as they say, of their own happiness, but everything for the happiness of Krishna. So this is Krishna Sukha. This is their goal. What are the obstacles that they face in Goloka Dham? The obstacles that they face are what is arranged by the Yogamaya, which means that Jatila, Kutila, and all of these various devotees, we can say, in the spiritual world, that as somehow or other, that their in-laws, etc., they also, of the other Gopis, they stop them from going towards Krishna, like that. So those are their obstacles. Their in-laws are stopping them. Jatila and Kutila are stopping them. Radharani, like that. So that is the type of obstacles that they face, which is arranged by the Yogamaya in order to only increase the ecstasies of the ever increasing these obstacles essentially is essentially increase their ecstasies in the spiritual world also. There is ever increasing ecstasy in the spiritual world, and the obstacles are only helping in them. And they, by their deep Gopi Bhav, they actually work. They overcome these obstacles and go towards Krishna, like that. Then what is the process? So what essentially are the activities that they are doing? They're already obviously siddhas. But what are the activities they're doing? So the activities are in terms of smaranam. Primarily, they are deeply absorbed in Krishna. This is the point. They are deeply, just deep within, it's like there is no other thought in their mind except for the Supreme Lord. They have already reached what Krishna is teaching in the Bhagavad Gita, Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakto. Always think of Krishna. They are always, or like even what Rupa Goswami says, is the goal of all the rules and regulations is the remembrance of Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, right? So that is the process. But they also, very important aspect is Ganam. They are constantly singing, as we know, when Yashoda Mai also is, constantly singing the glories of the Lord. So Smaranam and Ganam is their process. Then we come to what are the indicators? What are the symptoms that they experience because of this Gopi Bhav? And the symptoms they're experiencing, a lot of different types of, we know these symptoms of, the hair standing on end and the, tears falling from the eyes, in which even Mahaprabhu talks about in the, Nayanam Galadashrudharaya, the shivering of the body, Vadanam Gadagada Gira, like that. So all of these symptoms they're experiencing. But what is the final symptom? The final symptom is actually, it is said that they become completely lifeless. Dasham avastha, which is mrityu, they become actually completely lifeless. You can't even imagine, it's very difficult to even imagine. But that's the kind of extreme level of love that they experience, and these are the indicators. And finally, what is their secret? The secret of the gopis actually is that they are feeling separation. Gopis are essentially, we can say, are made of separation. Gopis are always feeling separation from Krishna. That is called a swabhavik viraha. They are made of separation. Made of separation. They're always feeling. Now it's interesting. How can they feel separation of Krishna when they are with Krishna? And that is described by Rupa Goswami as Prem Vachitya. When they are separate, when they are with Krishna, they still feel that any time Krishna may leave them. Anytime Krishna may leave them. And that feeling in them actually makes them feel separation from Krishna. Prem Vaichitya. So that's the point, that they are, while they are with Krishna, they still feel separation from Krishna. And you can see that, even in this today's, in this world here, imagine that somebody, a mother loses her child, and now she gets, the child comes back to her, right? Even if she's with the child, she's so fearful. She's so fearful of losing the child again anytime that she will start feeling separation from Krishna and from the child. So that's the idea of Prem Vachitya. And another aspect is Dhairya, because when Krishna goes to the forest and is not with them, then they are feeling deep separation from him. And there is, but they still somehow or other maintain their patience. And that's called as Dhairya. They're able to maintain that because of their, this is the Gopi Bhav. They're maintaining a deep level of patience. So that's their Bhav. So we are trying to understand what is the method of the Gopis and what are they feeling from deep within. So they're always feeling separation from Krishna. Always, even while they are with them. They are experiencing deep, they are showcasing deep patience while they are waiting for Krishna to return from the forest. Right? And they're made of separation like that. They are experiencing these symptoms that they are completely, they're even, they feel like they're dead essentially. They're just dead because they can't operate at all. They're feeling so much separation, they're completely dead. They're constantly remembering Krishna, they're constantly thinking about Krishna. They are experiencing these obstacles that they are overcoming through their deep love for Krishna, which are their in-laws, etc. They overcome those those obstacles. and they're always, their goal is Krishna Sukh Tatpara. They're always thinking of the happiness of Krishna. This is the idea. So if you see here, the interesting thing is, if you understand all of these five, even if the very tip of them, you will get an idea of what is a gopi like. I mean, what is this? Who are these gopis? Who are these people? What are they like, essentially? And that's what we want to understand truly. I hope this makes sense to you. Yeah, makes sense, Nitya Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. One question I have is, in the process, is it just the Smaranam and Ganam in the process? Because the process is not just Smaranam and Ganam, but the amount of the service they do.
Yeah, it's everything.
the-
He says in this lecture, Smaranam Ganam, but like Yashoda Mai, she's doing so many things. Obviously, they're not just
Yeah,
singing. They are Smaranam and
yeah.
Jnanam while doing the seva.
While doing the seva, yeah.
They are doing everything that we do, essentially, but nothing is being done in a way of that's a rule and a regulation. It is being done in a spontaneous way, right? So they will do all kinds of physical activities. All faculties of theirs are getting utilized. Everything will get utilized. So their fingers will get utilized, the hands, legs, intelligence, mind, voice, singing. That's what we're talking about. Dancing, anything and everything gets utilized, essentially. But in general, he just said, but the end of it is complete smaranam, deep smaranam. And just ganam, and he's also saying they are constantly singing also, essentially. Or like, but at the end of it, it's deep absorption, which is smaranam. So smaranam is, you can say, that the main, this thing, or the result of it all, right? Complete absorption in the goal, complete absorption by which they can overcome all these obstacles. Complete absorption is the indications of which are that complete absorption, complete dedication, right? Complete action, not just absorption means they're just absorbed. Complete deep action, filled with love, which is unimaginable. And then these indicators which come out of it, which is, it's almost like they're dead, they become dead, dasham avastha. And then deep feelings of separation, which are there always in them. Yeah. So that's the gopis.
So this Dasham Avastha, I want to understand, is it just when they are in deep Smaranam, is it the physical state of Dasham Avastha or their conscious state of the consciousness? Because when they are in the physical state of Dasham Avastha, we will not be able to do any
we are
service.
not able to do. Obviously,
Any
it's
service.
not that they become dead when they're lying dead, right? So
Yeah.
I think at different times we have to understand NOD also better. A lot of this basically coming from NOD, nectar of devotion. So it's not that they are just, it's like, see, it's a mixture, dynamic mixture of different things. You understand? Like, it's not like even here, sometimes they may be shivering, sometimes they feel their voice is choking up, sometimes their hairs are standing on end, sometimes this, sometimes that, and sometimes there are different combinations of all of these. And even Mahaprabhu exhibited that, right? Here. Sometimes
I was just about to say this.
He was just explaining. That's what Mahaprabhu came to show. I mean, he showed the highest. Sometimes his hands will go inside his body. Sometimes they'll come out.
Exactly.
Sometimes,
but he was not even able to do any service at that time, right? He was only in that bhava at that stage when he was.
But that is service. But that is service.
I was thinking, how does the Gopis serve? How does the Gopis serve continuously for the
no, but that is service. We don't have to say he is not able to do service. Like Sankirtan, when you are dancing and your hair is standing on end, it's not service. It is service.
No. But at the end of his pastimes, right? When he was
yes,
when he was actually put in a room, not letting him go outside because he was just going running about calling Krishna's name, and then so that's, I think, before that only he exhibited the pastimes, like in the cow shed, like where he was laying down and then his limbs got disjoined, or so in that state, See, I am just a neophyte. I can't
We are
think beyond that.
neophytes. See, what I'm saying is we can't, that is deep service. We can't say that's not seva. It's like, but you have to be at that level to do that seva. Krishna at the end of, that's why you have to do at what adhikar you are, and you have to do at what would please Krishna the most. So you will gradually understand. So that's what we will come to. It's a good point, right? Mahaprabhu exhibited like that. But you would see, hey, but Prabhupada is doing something different. Prabhupada is not exactly doing that, correct? Isn't it? In that sense, although we are not comparing Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu like that, but you could even, you could say, even Rupa Goswami is doing something different, right? It's not like, so why different people are doing something different, right? Which is that is happening. That's how and why how and why does that happen? This is what we have to understand by prem and prem maryada, right? It's but you have to realize that all of these will come into play. The final goal is Krishna's happiness. Okay, so these remember these are like indicators. It's not like Mahaprabhu is saying, okay, now let my hands go inside. It's not like, these are indicators which happen automatically. They're not practicing anything. They will indicators that will happen automatically like that. So, and those indicators essentially.
So to the viewers externally, these are the indicators that show that gopis are, that they are, that this is what the gopis feel, or the manjaris feel.
Yeah, that is why these indicators were not the if people just look at these indicators, then people started imitating them. But they were just a side effect actually of a complete Krishna Sukha Tatparya, giving everything deeply to Krishna in the highest grade of love. When you do that, these indicators automatically happen. Correct?
So
people, if you imitate them, then then you have not reached all of that, and you're just trying to imitate all of these things.
So the more we hear about it, the more the more difficult it feels.
It is, which it is.
It is like,
that's why the more I will tell you, I will go to this topic later. It is extremely difficult. We think it's extremely easy, but actually it is extremely difficult. That is from our perspective, we have to understand it's extremely difficult. We have to understand it's extremely difficult, which is the more you do it and the more you progress, you will finally realize it's impossible actually.
Sometimes just simply chant and you will come back to Krishna. I mean, after listening all these things.
Otherwise, how will you become helpless? You also tell me that. If you think, I know it's easy, I can attain it, then how would you won't. How will you even feel helpless? How will you really go so deep in trying it also, unless you understand it? It is the highest goal in this world. How can it be? So we have not realized I have not realized how deeply fallen I am and how far away I am. The more I actually practice and all that, then I will realize how far away I am and how fallen I am. And devotee actually in the end will still keep feeling that. And then in the end, Krishna will pick him up. So in that sense, at the end, it is given. The prema is given. It's not attained in that way. It's a gift which is given, correct? It is given to the Lord. Lord gives it. But I have to understand from my side, it's impossible how far away I am, how far deeply I am like that. So even these are things I'm saying it externally right now. But
when it is impossible, when you keep on realizing that it is becoming more and more tougher, and it is impossible.
Yeah.
Two things might happen, right? Either you give it up, or you helplessly throw out your hands and says,
Yeah.
Krishna,
Uh-huh.
I can't do, I'm not giving up. One
Yeah.
is completely giving up and going away.
But you will
One is
never
becoming
reduce your
helpless,
seva. But you, while
becoming
doing all of that, you will ever increasingly increase your seva. That is the thing that mat prananathas evana para, you may neglect me, you may desert me, you may not reciprocate with me at all and all that, but mat prananathas I have known no one but you as my Lord. When this is the final word, right? The final word of Shikshashram. This is the final word. I am sold out to you eternally. I'm settled in my life. It's done. It is done. I'm sold out to you eternally. That thing is there. So I'm done, basically. With that, and when so many other things it seems impossible, all that, I'll keep coming back to this. But you are my most worshipable Lord, unconditionally, internally, eternally, externally, eternally, unconditionally. You are my most worshipable Lord. I am no other master. I have no other shelter, like that. That's the way it is. So we'll move forward to this. Otherwise, we will not complete it today. Sadhakas and siddhas. Sorry, this is siddhas, not sadhakas. The wording is wrong. This is siddhas. So siddhas, what happens in the case of siddhas? Sorry, yeah, this order was different. So what happens in the case of siddhas? Their goal is now prachar here, because they are in the material world. Although they are siddhas, but they are siddhas, right? So you may think their goal is also, like they are also like acting like manjaris. They were boiling the milk, they are arranging the kunjas and all of that. No, the place has changed here. The place has changed here. Yes, obviously with the deities, you boil the milk for the deities and all of that. That's true. But Krishna, what will make Krishna most happy with regards to the material world? There is no preaching in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is not preaching. Correct. They're all siddhas.
Yeah.
Here you need, what is Krishna's purpose? Bring these conditioned souls back to me. So that is their goal here. Their goal is prachar. So that is why the same manjaris, Rupa Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, all of that, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, all of our acharyas, when they come here, they do what? They do prachar. This is the thing. The Sahajiyas don't do that. They don't do that. They will just keep acting and all of that. They are not like Prabhupada spending their whole nights writing books and somehow or other convincing, fighting against the scientists, all of that. Correct. They are trying to bring as many people to Krishna as possible. So that is their goal. Because why? Because again, it's Krishna Sukh Tatparya. That's what is giving happiness to Krishna. What are their obstacles? Their obstacles are the obstacles that they find during preaching. Prem Prachar Pashand Dalan. Pashand means people are Pashandis, people who are obstructing the propagation of love of Godhead. They have to kill that. They have to fight against the scientists. They have to fight against the atheists. Right? They have to fight against everything, like fight against lack of knowledge, fight against like what we are doing in the BRC under the direction of the acharyas. We have to at least practice that, right? We have to practice this thing that we have to fight against that. In education, they have removed all kinds of spiritual education, religious education, or any kind of ancient wisdom. They have removed it.
Why is prema an obstacle?
No, the prem prachar pashand dalan means prema is not an obstacle. To get to prema, the pashanda which are blocking prema, that's what it means. I think it's a word he says. Prem prachar mein jo pashand aa raha hai. Like
prem prachar is one word.
Prem prachar pashand dalan. Yes, it is all one word. Prem prachar pashand dalan. It's one word, one phrase.
Okay.
Pashand dalan means to kill. The pashandis, the people who are obstructing What are they obstructing? Prem Prachar.
Oh,
It is
Pashandis who are
one.
obstructing the Prema Prachar.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So Pashanda is basically just all the demoniac tendencies.
Demoniac.
Yeah, so the whole world is filled with that, right? They're not like that. So the Siddhas, they are trying to do, that's their obstacles. And they are trying to do that. Now, what is the process? Now, in their case, they are doing Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous Bhakti, right? They not have to force themselves for doing anything. So their main thing is they are deeply absorbed, Smaranam. Actually, Prabhuji said in the class that actually the Raganuga Bhakti main concept is Smaranam. They are deeply always thinking of Krishna. That's the rule. That's the goal of all the rules. Na? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. However, obviously, they are always doing Kirtan also.
Krishna Matirastu.
They are always, yeah, but they are always obviously doing Kirtan also. Through Kirtane Prabhave Smarana Hove. They will do Kirtan always. It's not that philosophy that, oh, I'm Siddha and, now I don't do any Kirtan. I'm just doing Smaranam. No. They are always doing Kirtan, but they are always thinking of Krishna. They're always deeply absorbed. Smaranam is happening to them all the time, spontaneously. This is the platform which we have to reach. We have to reach that platform where slowly and slowly our Kirtan will lead to Smaranam. It's not that we're only doing Kirtan. That Kirtan we have to see, hey, is my Kirtan leading to Smaranam? If it's not, that's a problem. Correct. So, and then finally, indicators for them is Anya Swarup ki Mrityu, which means what becomes dead in them is their own existence in the material world. They are dead basically to it. They are dead to the fact that they are even that they are Vanaprastha, like what Mahaprabhu says, na? That they are sannyasi, this, that they are Brahman, Kshatriya, Brahmachari, Vaishnava, Brahman, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They are not any of these. They are dead to that already. They are actually dead to that. They are, and within them has appeared Anya Swarup. That means within Anya Swarup, within them has appeared their Siddha Swarup. They actually at the Siddha stage, they become aware that they have, what is their position in the spiritual world. They may be, whoever they are, like a cow, a peacock, a this or that, or whatever. They are, whatever is their position in the spiritual world has appeared within them. However, outside of it, they will not be showing that. They will be outside doing everything for Krishna's Tatparya, Prachar. They will be already doing that. Right? So outside they are doing all of that, but inside they have developed a particular specific relationship with Krishna. That has happened, which is a gift to them. Krishna has already revealed to them like that. So this is obviously, I don't know what more we can talk about it. But obviously they are here, they are Siddha, they are in the spiritual, they are in the material world, but they will end up in the spiritual world where they will become that person, right? Whoever they are. So that they are able to achieve right here, actually. Like that. And then finally, they feel separation. And what is their separation? This is very interesting. Their separation is Prem Vivarta, whereas it was Prem Vachitya for the Gopis, their separation is Prema Vivarta, which means for them, everything gets transformed. And there's a verse like that. I couldn't look up that verse. Vane dekhi, Vane dekhi mane Vrindavan, Shaila dekhi mane Govardhan, like that. Nadi dekhi mane Kalindi. There's a verse like that, which means when they see things in this world, it gets transformed into the Lord's paraphernalia in that way. So they are living in Vrindavan, although they are not in Vrindavan. They are, as soon as they see a hill, they feel Vrindavan. They feel Govardhan. When they see a river, they feel it's Yamuna. They are actually living in Vrindavan. So prema vivarta means transformation. Vivarta means parivartan, transformation. Due to love, everything gets transformed. And that's how they remember Krishna. Just like the example, when Prabhupada gave that example, now if you see my spectacles, what do you think of? You think of me, right? Oh, this is Prabhupada's spectacles. So whenever they see anything, they think, oh, this is Krishna's Govardhan. When they see the hill, oh, this is Krishna's this is Krishna's that, this is Krishna's. Or even they're seeing anything in the material world, they're always remembering Krishna. Oh, this is Krishna. How Krishna mercifully has created these fruits, how he has created these this material body. What a wonderful creation is that of Krishna, like that. Everywhere behind they are seeing Krishna. There was a wonderful quote of Prabhupada I heard. Anybody with a rational thinking will realize that behind the wonderful, what is it called? Behind the wonderful heat and light of the sun, behind the wonderful succulent fruits and vegetables, right? And behind the all the wonderful, beautiful things that you see in this world, there is a friend. There's a friend behind them, Prabhupada is saying. And to get in contact with that friend Krishna is our purpose. So they actually start seeing everything like that. Everything becomes like that. But eventually, when they see their child also, they will see this is Krishna's child, like that, right?
So why is that separation instead of the secret there? Why is it?
Yeah, because that secret is a separation. That's the way they are feeling separation. Because I am seeing Krishna, your wonderful creation, but I am not with you. So the primary thing is they are feeling separation from Krishna. They are feeling separation from Krishna's paraphernalia. When they see the hill, they run. Mahaprabhu started running. Oh, this is Govardhan. He is feeling separation. He is feeling, oh my God, this is, it's like, it has got transfer. Oh, this is this thing. But they have that feeling that, oh, but I am separate from you, my Lord, but I'm seeing Govardhan, but I'm not seeing you. I am seeing here Kalindi, but where are you? Like that, right? So everything, I'm seeing this creation everywhere. They are constantly feeling, the main point is they are feeling, my Lord, you are not here. Because they are remembering that I'm in the spiritual world, right? Sorry, I'm in the material world, correct? So they are feeling that. So that's why this three guna viraha, three gunit viraha actually. They are feeling separation from the spiritual world. I'm not in the spiritual world, which is the fact, isn't it? I'm not in the spiritual world, I'm in this material world. So far away from you, my Lord. You're not here. That's the main point. Not that you are here in the form of Brahman and you are here in the form of Paramatma. He knows that. But the Siddha is looking for Bhagavan. So he feels a separation. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Then comes that.
What is this indicators? Anya Sarupa ki mrityu.
That means they are dead. I told you they are dead to what they are in this world. Do you get it?
They don't identify with the material body.
They don't identify with the material world. They have nothing to do with the material world. They have nothing to do with the material body. They are dead to that. Do you understand? That's what happens to them now. Their only identity is what is Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Dasanu Das. They have got fixed in that identity. This identity is gone. They are acting because of Maryada, Prem Maryada. They will act in that way. They will not dress like a Gopi, even if they understand that they are a Gopi. You understand that?
Yeah.
But they may act like that. They will act like that. If they are a father, they will act like a father to their child. They will do all of that because that is the duty that is required by Krishna That will make Krishna happy. They will do all of that. But inside they know I'm not this. I'm dead. They're already dead to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there are three kinds of separation: Golok Vrindavan, Dham separation. They are separate from the Dham, right? Even material, but they are not in the Dham. They are outside preaching. And third is a very interesting one. They feel the separation even if, because, see, what happens is when you come in front of the deities, right? Then you're in front of Krishna, right? Because Krishna is the deity, correct? Actual Bhagavan, correct? Is it true or not?
Yep.
But still they feel separation. Why they feel separation? Because they feel, my Lord, you are here, right in front of me. However, you have still not accepted me truly, deeply. They're humble, na? So they will feel, my Lord, I have not really, I have not. It's like, you have, so you go in front of your father, but there is the relationship is still not, let's say, proper, right? Let's say. So you are with him, but you're not with him, correct? Because you are not deeply emotionally with him, right? The relationship is not intimate. And so they feel, because of their humility, they're feeling that, oh, I'm mentally separate from you, my Lord. So they feel, while standing in front of Krishna, they feel separation from Krishna. Also. That's how they feel separation. They are constantly feeling this separation from Krishna. Now come to us, sadhakas. Sadhaka's goal is, again, we want to do what? Now their goal, Gopis' goal, they are doing obviously Krishna Sukha Tatparya, serving the Krishna in the spiritual world like anything. Here, Siddhas, they are doing prachar. We are also doing prachar, but we are also doing another thing we have to do. Our goal should be also achar. Because we have not, we have to do ourselves also. The Siddhas already reached that. So they have to focus on prachar. Their achar is happening automatically. We know that Krishna will be happy if our own behavior is good. And we have to also, what is it called? Janma sartha kari kare para upkar. Achar and prachar. Then next, obstacles. What are the obstacles for us?
Anarthas, desires, material desires.
Yeah. So obstacles for the gopis, Jatila, Kutila, in-laws, all of that. Obstacles for the Siddhas, the outside world, they are so atheists and pashandis and all of that. Except for us, they are lying within us. I and mine.
Anarthas, ego.
Anarthas and I and mine, essentially. Aham mameti. And then lust, anger, greed, pride, illusion, envy, everything that comes from it. They're right within us. So Gopi Bhav, if we practice, Gopi Bhav will give us the strength to overcome these. Gopi Bhav is the method by which we work towards overcoming the obstacles. Right? Like Siddhas, they are working by overcoming the obstacles outside. We have to work on overcoming the obstacles inside. Obviously, as well as outside also. To assist the Siddhas. Right? Gopi Bhav means helps us sharpen our goal. I have to act right. I have to preach. That's my goal. Correct? Because that will make Krishna happy. Then our process is not so much smaranam. We are not able to do smaranam right now, right? Our goal that we want to be absorbed more, but primarily it is sadhana bhakti. It's not ragunuga bhakti. Right? Our process is sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means you follow the rules, but it's not just about rules. You act for a result. You actually do some specific work. I work for a result. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhav. Our goal is, that is a definition of sadhana bhakti given by Rupa Goswami, that you produce a result for Krishna, do a specific activity for Krishna, produce a result, and as part of that result also develop feelings for Krishna, bhavet sadhya bhav. So it should not be just a result and it should not be just feelings. We should work for a result. I will give you this result. Like Prabhupada saying, double the number of books. double this, take a target and do this, do that, do specific activities. Give a result to your spiritual master, but also work in a way that you are developing your affection to Krishna. Make sense? So this is the, and Kirtanam, chanting of the holy name, Sankirtanam, and all that. What are the indicators for us? As how will we know that we are making progress? You know, in their case, Dashamavasa Mrityu, they become completely dead gopis. In Siddhas, their Aniswarup ki Mrityu, which means they are dead to the spiritual. They are dead to their current identity altogether. They are, they've died to that, right? And they have attained the identity of the spiritual world. What are we dead to? What do we have to become dead to? What should be our final goal? What should really die? Ahankar. Ahankar has to die. I and mine at the end has to die for us. When that dies, we will come to the level of also, we are dead to the identities of this material world. We will also get a Swarup. And then we'll also go to the spiritual world. And Ahankar has to die finally. And finally, what is the secret for us of separation? How does it apply to us? So this is a very interesting topic. In fact, Keshavanand Prabhu had a small lecture on it, which I'm not able to find. I don't know if they removed it or whatever. I'm going to ask them. And that is called as Swabhav. The Gopis have Swabhavik Viraha, right? That they are completely absorbed, always in separation. Even when they are with Krishna, they feel separate from him, that he may leave them, like that. And Siddhas have these three Gunit Viraha, right? And Prem Vivarta, everything gets transformed. Everywhere they are seeing, this is Krishna, this is Krishna's thing, this is Krishna's thing. They are separate, feeling separation, Golokadham, feeling separation from the dhams in this material world, Bhaumadham, and they are feeling separation while even in front of Krishna, as if, my Lord, you have not accepted me. So we need to understand, we need to practice what is called as Vastavik Viraha, he says, which means just remember the fact that I am separated myself from Krishna. That's it. Just remember this fact. Keep reminding yourself of this fact. How nonsense I am that I have separated myself from Krishna. And I am in this rotten spiritual material world. That's the point. It's a reality. I am currently separated from God and I have separated myself from God. From this, he says, will come. So even when I go in front of Krishna, I will say, my Lord, I'm seeing you, but actually because of my own anarthas, I am here in this material body. I am here in this, stuck in this material body, stuck in this material world, and you have still not accepted me. I'm still not dedicated myself to you. Right? I'm still absorbed with the things in this material world. I'm still stuck in I and mine. But remember this, my Lord, I am separated myself. You are not here, my Lord, and I am here. You are not in this material world. I am here in this material world. Right? That is the thing. And even when you are here in the form of the deity, I am not able to, I don't completely connect with you. I don't completely, serve you. I don't completely do whatever I can to develop this connection back. Right? So, how nonsense I am. So he says, from this will come humility. From this will come all the good qualities. When something bad happens to you, you will know that I'm a nonsense because I have separated myself from you, my Lord. So feel that separation from Krishna. Like that. So those are the three things, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Hare. Chai. We have completed this topic.
Wonderful, Prabhu.
I'm grateful to Keshavanand Prabhu. You can hear Prabhu's
Yeah.
class also. And all our acharyas and gurus from whom we heard so much. But Keshavanand Prabhu basically was able to he put it in one thing in order
The
to.
presentation was so nice. I mean, the way he I mean, he put it,
Way
and
he has
also the
done
way
it, right? I'm just saying,
yeah,
way he has done it. See,
yeah, amazing.
and it's so practical. It will cut Sahajiaism. At the same
Yes.
time, it will teach us that how gopis are the highest and how we can get there. And there is a maryada to get there. Mahaprabhu didn't whimsically teach love, you know.
Mm.
He taught love through maryada. It's prem maryada. You can follow the etiquette to reach love.
Yeah.
And you can feel separation in the right way.
Yeah.
You can. It's not like, oh, separation is such a huge thing. No. What is there? That's the main thing is that what is there? I am separated from Krishna. I mean, I'm not going to make a show in the sense of, oh, Krishna, Krishna. I'm not going to make a show like that. That's what the Sahajiyas do, right? But the fact is, I am. I have separated myself from Krishna. That's a fact. That's it. It's a simple fact. But that's such a horrible fact. That's the point. It's a horrible fact which I have done to myself. So, when things happen to me, this world and all, I have to realize I have thrown myself in this world. Right? And I've thrown myself in this world. So I deserve much worse than what I'm getting right now, my Lord. You've been extremely kind. You've minimized it. Right? I deserve much worse. I've separated myself from you. I mean, you are the best, perfect person in the world, the most best friend, everything, the best, best, best. I was in the spiritual world. And I've thrown myself here, and I want to, that's the main point, right? Return home back to Godhead.
Yeah.
Hammering this point all over the time again and again. Return back home, back to Godhead. I have to realize I am the one who came here and separated myself from you. To the extent that I've completely forgotten now who I am. Completely foreign place.
Yeah.
Homeless, away from home. Homeless away from home.
Thank
in
you,
Journey
Prabhu.
Home,
Thank you
Radhanath
so
Swami
much.
Maharaj says that even at that time he was saying, he wrote a letter to himself, like, I'm homeless away from, not finding any home in this material world. He was saying like that at that time. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we should feel homeless in this world. That's why Prabhupada is saying, return back home, back to Godhead. Do I feel homeless in this world? When I see the homeless people on the street, I think, oh, they're homeless. I'm not homeless. I am homeless.
Yeah,
So he is all saying in his lecture in the end that we should try to remember this. This is called Vastavik Viraha. Vastavik means the reality of the fact, the reality that I am separated from you and I have separated myself from you. This is the reality. Remember this. That's the primary focus. So Lord is here in the form of the deities, in the form of the message, in the form of Bhagavatam. He is here. But I am still separate from him. I'm not still connected with him. And I'm in this material world. And the proof is the fact that I am in this material world. That's the proof. What is the proof that I am still separate from him? The direct plain proof is I am in this material world. So what else the proof do I need to say that? And I don't know how many more decades or years or months or even moments that I have to do the needful. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. Yeah. Yeah. Hare Prabhu.
To see what
Jai.
you can do in terms of this Vastavik Viraha. That will be nice. See if we can try to remember this sometime, or see if we can remember any of the things, and we can share how we can practice this in some way.
Yeah.
So we can remember my indicator should have been Ahankar Kim with you. I'm looking for I and mind to die. I'm looking that I'm separate. Whatever I felt from inside, have I?
Yeah, that is the indicators It's far away. For me, the
Yeah.
obstacles is like material desires, hankering, lamentation, lust, greed,
Yeah, but
anger,
that's because
illusion.
I'm not understanding that I'm homeless here anyway. Why am I anchoring here? I mean, at least we can beat it. At least I can say how stupid I am. It's like stupidity, actually. It's stupidity, no? Okay, I have to do my duties. I understand that. That is true. We're not always talking about neglecting our duties, but at least we can understand how stupid I am to be um, having my own desires or my own this. But I know I have nothing to do with this place. I have nothing to do with this place. Nothing. It's such a foreign thing, actually. No, what do I want from here? I want some shelter here, not a place for shelter. It's not a place for name, fame, prestige, and this and that, and money and this. All people are trying to accumulate in this world, right? I have nothing to do with this place.
And also, one question is for all the is prachar applicable for all the sadhakas? And every sadhaka cannot do the prachar. Achar he can do, but prachar only few are doing, right? Prachar, preaching. I mean,
Why? But they
what
should
is this?
they should all do, because the whole goal is not prachar. The goal is Krishna Sukh Tatparya. They should be doing something which will make Krishna most happy. What is making Krishna most happy? Janma sarthak kari kare para upkar.
Para upakar.
So
But
they
then,
want so
practically speaking, in ISKCON, in today's,
what we should
I'm
do,
not.
na? What
But
does prachar mean?
we,
Prachar doesn't mean only giving a class. Prachar also means cooking. Prachar also means cleaning your house properly. Maybe when you clean your house properly, when others come and see, oh, then you can say, I'm cleaning my house because it's Krishna's house.
yeah,
So
yeah,
every cooking at home is also prachar. A housewife is a preacher. Everybody is a preacher. You may be preaching you may be preaching in whichever part of the factory, in the background, in the front, in middle, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you have to assist in some way. You have to assist in some way. You will say, I'm no assisting anybody in anything. You may, even a housewife is helping her, if she is doing everything, the husband can do, is doing some work. Even you are inviting somebody at home for dinner. That's also prachar, right? Everything is prachar because you are thinking of spreading Krishna's name somewhere. A name, Nam Rupa Gunalila. So why are you saying not everybody can do? Everybody has to do prachar. In fact, the more you are in background, that actually, the more better in that sense. Although you have to be in the front also to do the seva. Whatever is required to do the seva. But our aspiration should not be, I want to be in the front. Our aspiration is, I want to serve in the best way. That's it. Without gaining anything. I don't want anything for myself. Why should I want anything for myself? That's stupidity. I'm killing my own purpose by doing that. Tate vidu swartha gathimi Vishnu. Until I understand my own interest should be in Vishnu, not. That's the Gopis. So that's what we're talking about. We have to follow the method of the Gopis. And our acharyas have Gopis who have descended to tell you this is how you do it in the material world. That's what Bhava wants them to teach. Prema Maryada. ये तो मेरे लिए तो mind blowing था basically. Mind blowing था because you can finally combine prema and maryada.
Yeah.
This is the vision of our acharyas, to combine prema and maryada. You're not giving up maryada. That's the sahajiya nonsense.
Yeah.
But you're not giving up prem. Then it is just like following the rules and regulations without any goal in mind. You have prem, I just say the prem. Krishna prem is my goal. But I'm not understanding what is really prem at the end of it. It is prem. It's not just following something, a set of rituals. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
That's not it. I have a deep relationship with Krishna. I have to call out for Krishna. I have to feel for him. I have to feel for him. It's a relationship. And I feel for his place, feel for my way. It's our Krishna. It's our home is there. Our home is not here. You have to feel for such things. That's the idea, isn't it? So, how beautiful a process you can follow with the right etiquette. How many people understand this? Very few. Even within ISKCON, I don't think we really properly put in this right perspective this way. So,
Yeah.
So this for me was very heartening, actually. Very nice to see and hear.
Yeah.
Hari Bol. Jai.
Hari Bol Prabhu Jai. Thank you so
Hari
much and have a
Bol.
wonderful
Sharma
week.
Prabhu, thank you very much for joining. You are the Acharya.
Hare Krishna,
Oh,
Prabhuji.
you have joined the last 2
Yeah.
seconds, not even 5 seconds. So you are like came to give the final blessing. You just blew us all away with your blessing in the end.
Because he has come to take the nectar. Because after churning the milk ocean,
Yes.
nectar won't come in the beginning. It will come only in the end. So he knows when the nectar comes. So he just came to take the nectar.
Oh,
Right, Anurag Prabhu?
Amazing.
my fortune that I was able to see you. I
Or,
was
or,
not.
or he came at the very end as an agent of Mohini Murti to give the nectar. And then Thank you, Lakshmana Prabhu. You have been amazing. Thank you very much for your session. It was a wonderful session that you gave today. It was amazing, unbelievable. Thank you.
Next time we'll join. Okay.
शर्मिंदा कर रहा है हम लोगों को.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good. Jai.
Hari Bol Prabhu. Jai. See you Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hari Bol.